To Joe's Astrology. This is the birth chart for Novak Djokovic, and he's a Capricorn rising, Moon conjunct North Node in Aries, and a Sun in Gemini. So we see the Capricorn rising, the ruler is Saturn in the 11th, the house of goals and objectives, hopes and wishes, and he has Saturn there retrograde in Sagittarius, the sign of learning, travel, good fortune. And the ruler here, with Capricorn being on the rising and Saturn being the ruler, you see from a very young age, I think he was like, they have him on film at like 7 years old saying he was going to be #1 in the world. And so you see this theme of him climbing the ladder of an industry. And if even when you watch him play when he was 17, 18, he really fought. Like you can see, he really fought his way to the top. It's not like it was just something that appeared out of nowhere. I'm not sure that many people knew he would be as good as he was. He had to make some changes. Like I said, his game style. With his game style, he really had to fight and learn. And I do believe that he has one of the highest tennis IQs on tour, and it is evident that he has had learned. He's had to have learned a lot on his in his tennis journey to get to where he is. And we see the moon. This is probably one of the most prominent parts of his chart when it comes to success in tennis. He has the moon, Jupiter, and the North Node in Aries in the third house, in the second house and the third house. So start with the second house. We have the idea of moon and North Node, this being a fruition type life in the sign of Aries, of competition and we could say conflict, fighting, combat, and Jupiter's there as well in the third, but with Moon in the North Node there in the second, I'm not even sure I would call that the second. In this chart, it's the second. I think I would call that the third. So I just call it the third house and Jupiter in the third. And he has the Sun in Gemini and Mercury in Gemini. So tennis players who have a lot of third house in Gemini tend to do well because their mind is very scattered, and they may have just a quickened mind. You think of like also a lot of tennis players will have that anxiety and just ability to move around a lot and just have a lot of speed. I'm not even sure I'm saying it the right way, but definitely. Then the idea of travel too with the South Node in the ninth. He also has Pluto in the ninth. The idea of having to travel short distances, long distances. There's a big emphasis on travel here with the third and the ninth here, and you can see the ruler of the third. The ruler of the third is Mars. I'm sorry, the ruler of the third and that North Node is Mars, and it comes back to here Mars being in the sixth house, the house of work. So we can see his house of work. He's got the planet of combat and sports and competition there, and also it's making a trine to his midheaven, which is in Scorpio, the sign that is ruled by Mars, and Pluto that is there as well. The house of career being Scorpio there with more emphasis on competition. And also you can see with Scorpio the idea of other people's money and business. And I was heavily involved in tennis, and I have the same ascendant and the same midheaven that he does, and the same Pluto in the ninth. But I do not have this fruition type aspect here. With Jupiter there as well, you see the good fortune This is a very fortunate combination for whatever he would find himself into. He also has Venus in the third. It's in Taurus where it rules. And this guy has a lot of money. He's got good style. Been associated with Lacoste. He's been associated with Asics. He has his own shoe for Asics. In my opinion, it's one of the best shoes that Asics has ever produced, and perhaps one of the best tennis shoes that was ever made thus far. Sun in the fourth, and as I said in Gemini, we see this combination Gemini and Aries with the moon in Aries and the Sun in Gemini. Very good combination for tennis players. It's in the fourth house. He's big on family. Has a wife, I think maybe 2 kids. Don't see this guy ever getting divorced, to be honest. I don't know why I said that, to be honest. I just don't think, you see the sun in the fourth. He's a big family guy, Saturn, or Capricorn rising, Saturn ruling the chart. I don't see him getting a divorce. And then we see the Mercury in the fifth, the house of self-expression. And that would make him, and Mercury ruling Gemini as well. He has also been known earlier in his career to be like a comedy guy. He used to imitate like Sharapova and Nadal and just imitate people on court. And that's that emphasis on comedy with those planets in Sagittarius and the planets in the fifth house there, or Mercury in the fifth house. And even whole sign, if we're looking at whole sign, you could say his sun is in, no, the sun would be in the sixth. So we could say that Venus would be in the fifth. So there's some fifth house emphasis there, and emphasis on comedy, having fun. So he's a guy that likes to have fun on court. He definitely has that warrior quality. You've seen him like come out and being like very warrior-like on the court, but then at the same time, he's also shown that fun, light side, especially when he's winning, which is all the time. So he likes to have fun. You see that there with the Mercury in the fifth. He's a very mercurial player. Like I said, with the third house emphasis, the Mercury in Gemini, Sun in Gemini. I don't think he would made it this far if he wasn't such an intelligent tennis player. He's got this Mars trining Pluto, giving very great ambition in the life with the Mars-Pluto contact, especially the trine there. Neptune in the 12th. Let's take a look at Neptune, 7 degrees. And it is squaring the moon, squaring the node. It's also making a trine to Venus. This guy has a great personality. He's known as being a giving person, kind person, someone who gives back. He's a great performer. For here, we're focusing on Neptune. Great performer, loves to perform, loves the stage. And with Neptune squaring the nodes, we see an emphasis on resolving the south node, and that would be ruled by Venus in the 9th. So this idea of learning, expanding the mind, with Venus there, the ruler being, with the south node in Libra, the ruler being Venus here in the 3rd. Really focusing on the mind, learning about the mind, using the mind to make money. Something to do with his dreams, involving his dream of being a tennis player. It's possible in the past he was going back and forth between the 3rd and the 9th. Actually, I'm not really sure if that's true, but definitely you see the emphasis of going back and forth between the 3rd and the 9th, which would be excellent. Absolutely excellent for learning how to become a successful professional tennis player. the idea of the right brain, the left brain, the balance between the two. Achieving the balance between the two would make for a excellent tennis player that he is, and a successful tennis player. We see the part of fortune, the money, in the second house, definitely in the second house in Pisces. So seeing himself as a resource, the idea of Pisces, making money off of a dream life, making money off of traveling, making money off of being a performer, an actor. He is an actor. I do consider him an actor. The sun is very strong here in the fourth in an angular house. The ruler of the seventh, the people that he relates to, is an Aries. The sign of competition. You can see most of the people that he relates to obviously are his competitors on the tennis tour. And not much else. Not really much drama with Novak Djokovic. Having that Saturn ruling the ascendant, not much drama with him. Probably could be more said about this chart. I'm going to leave it there for now and hope you enjoy this mini reading for Novak Djokovic.